Hey everyone, Charlie here, IC Customs. We have a open box review. I've never done one of these before, so bear with me. I wanted to touch base on specialty product that's made for that will work with the FJ project. I just happened to be doing some internet searching and I found a company called IWT. They're in the Netherlands. And they make specialty engine components for the XJR, mainly focusing for the XJR 1200, 1300. But that particular bike, the engine is the same in the FJ1100, 1200 as far as the case and a few other things. And they happen to make clear clutch covers and amongst a couple colors. And I'm a huge fan of the clear clutch cover. I've had Ducatis and I've always put the Duca bike clear clutch covers on, and it just really adds a nice feature to the bike. It's really an eye grabber. People see them and they're really curious about it. So it's another attention to detail when it comes to making your bike look a one of a kind or yours. I haven't opened the box yet. I wanted to save that for this video. Behind me, I have it's my XV920R, and it happens to have a clear clutch cover on it. And a little bit in this video, I will have the camera down. I'll bring it up close so you can actually see what it kind of looks like on a bike. So without further ado, we'll do the opening of the box. I'll bring the video down so you can get a better look at the components. I'll go through the items, check the quality, the finish of it, just basically how they look. Like I said, I haven't opened the box yet. All I can do is see what the pictures are, and I'm hoping that if you're looking at something for your XJR or your FJ project, you can reach out to Jack Alvarez over at IWT, and like I said, he's a super friendly guy. He even sent me a Facebook friend request. So he's that dedicated to his product that he's willing to send you a friend request on Facebook. So that's quality assurance, I'm hoping, at this point. So what I'm gonna do is I'll stop the video, I'll bring it back, set it up where we'll have it on top. Do the open box and kind of talk about it. That's it. Okay, we're back. We got the camera all set up. I went through and kind of gotten rid of the address stuff and those kind of things. So we will go ahead, and I want to say that U.S. Postal Service did something as far as banging it around. So I'm being hopeful that nothing's damaged on the inside. The box not in terrible shape, integrity's still there. It's been wrapped up very well. Take this out. When I ordered this, it was during the new year, change of the new year, and Jack was contacting me and just let me know that if it was okay, that he wanted to wait until after the first of the year to ship them, to prevent any kind of extra strain on the shipping systems out there and potential for lost items. I'm in no rush. If you see some of my other videos, I'm still building the FJ, so I did not, it wasn't a big deal for me. So so it took, once he shipped it out, it took about 10 business days to come from the Netherlands to the US. You can see that they're nicely wrapped. We got like some cellophane over some, what is it, that foam, that white foam, shipping foam. Extra packaging, one of his nice business cards. So for those of you who looking for his information, here's his business card. website, etc. Said it's Jack Alvarez. Said fantastic fellow. He really stepped it up. Said getting in touch with me, keeping in communications was great. And then it was a day before this arrived. I was kind of curious to know, because I had, when I received the shipment notification, I didn't get a tracking number, so I wasn't too worried at that point. So after it was 8 or 9 days, I sent Jack a message, and he had sent me back the tracking link, and it would be delivered the next day. So great service from Jack. Kudos to you. When I was cutting this, I'm trying to do very minimal in there, just enough to get the plastic to get a hole in it so I can tear it. It's easier to tear, and then you don't have to worry about cutting through anything or cut into the surface finish on these. Pretty excited here. I have said all the clear clutch covers and additions that I've always done on bikes. It adds so much nice feature to the bike. It's really an attention grabber. People really comment on it, so I always do it, not for the comments, but I just do it simply because I like the bike to have those features. So it's got a lot of the wrap on here, and I'm assuming this is the clutch cover for the FJ. Wow, there's a lot on here. Kudos, Jack. Get some of this out of the way here. Trying to keep the video going with minimal clutter on here. Wow, looks really nice so far. And Jack notes on his website that the sight glass is an OEM Yamaha sight glass, so they put an OEM component in there so that's easy to be found if you need to change it, which is nice. You see all the screw hardware, and then it's got a plastic cover over the actual, I'm assuming this is an acrylic plastic, so it's nice, keeps you from scratching it. And then you can remove this I guess if you needed to remove the cover or the lens to replace it, or replace a seal. I'm assuming there'll be a seal underneath there. I'm not going to disassemble it. Here's the front side. Wow, looks really nice. I can't tell if it's anodized or if it's powder coat. It's really hard to determine. The machine lines look great. No heavy chatter marks. Nice, you got the high and low level oil markers on there. Like I said, the surface finish looks great. I chose a silver cap because the engine's going to be painted black and the fins will be polished off to a silver, and then on his particular cover you have to use his cap. Okay, we're back. I had to pause the video. If y'all heard that ruckus in the background, that's my UPS driver. Here the past couple weeks, his truck sounded like he got open headers on there, and it thing's so loud, so I was worried about the quality of the video with his sound in there. So anyways, back to it. The when you order the clutch case side, your stock oil cap will not fit. It has a different cut thread, so I ordered another one. And of course, being that the theme of the engine is going to be black and the fins are going to be polished to a silver or back to the aluminum color, I opted for just the basic aluminum standard finish. But the plug looks great. The thread work It's clean. I mean, I'm familiar with having items CNC machined. I get a lot of components made in my other hobbies and business I own, and the quality of the machine work is A-rated. So this is really nice looking stuff. I believe this is a powder coat. I'll have to double check with Jack, but it looks to be a powder coat, not an anodized finish, which is great. I prefer powder coat because if you're familiar with anodized, on anything that stays in the sun for a long time and anodized, blacks start to turn like a purple color. So, and reds fade out to a pinkish, you know, so I prefer to have either a hard coat anodized or a powder coat. And the powder coat, I think, it will match closer to the actual paint that gets applied to the engine. So I prefer this, and like I said, it looks like a powder coat finish. But bravo, it looks really good. And bravo so far with this cover. And what we'll do is when I finish the rest of the items that I had picked up, we will I'll kind of show you up on the engine where these are going to go, and then touch base on showing you what it looks like with the clear clutch cover on the actual the XV920R. The quality of the finish, it looks really, really nice. It looks like when they being that they powder coated, they most likely like soda blasted or did a slight sand, you know, really light blasting to it to give it a texture to allow the paint to bond to it much better. Because typically when you have a machine surface, you'll have this shiny looking surface, or you'll see the milling patterns. I mean, you can see a hint of the milling patterns, but for the most part it looks really, really nice. So really nice looking part. So this is the clutch cover. We'll move on to the next item. Oh, very nice. And it comes with some hardware. On the XJR, the FJ, this would be, I assume, is the right side engine cover. There's a small cover on the side, and it's only held in by 2 screws and on the stock one, so you don't have a bolt pad or anything. It's just got 2 screws holding the cap on. You can get this particular cover. He's got them in silver, and you can put the blue, you can get the black and silver. He's got different options for the Yamaha logo to be put in there, but I wanted the just a little pop of something different, so I opted for the blue, and it really looks nice. So yeah, this is definitely a powder coat. It looks good. There is just some schmunk on here. Other than that, the machine quality looks great. So you kind of see the logo looks really nice on here. And that looks to be a machined logo. That's not just some sticker. It's literally a machined logo. I can actually put my thumbnail in there, and I can visually see the machining points in there. So very nice. That's machined, not an actual printed logo. That's a machined logo. So it looks really good. And you can see the bolts right in here. They're actually threaded into this plate. So if you wanted to change color of your bolts, you could easily do that. And like I said, and these are I'm not going to open this package because I know what it is. It's the 2 bolts that go into this point here. So really nice. He does offer like some titanium screws. I opted not for the titanium screws. I'm not that hardcore in it, but for those of you that may want that extra bling or pimping your ride, you know, you can go with the titanium stuff. Or I know that on eBay you can actually buy probably aluminum screws, and they would be anodized to a different color. So this is the right engine cover. It looks really nice. I'm really happy with it so far. So we'll move on to the ignition cover. There's other covers that go for the XJR, but they don't, the alternator cover. but it won't work on the FJ. So I did not get the components. So like I said, if you're unsure, if you have an FJ and you're unsure what's going to fit, you know, touch base with Jack. He's happy to help you out. He did with me. And he pointed out that these 3 covers would work on my FJ, which I'm not too worried about the alternator cover. By the time I get done with the alternator cover has some abilities to either like polish off some fins or something like that, so I could actually add some detail to it to myself. And you know, I powder coat, so I'll most likely be able to strip it, powder coat it, and add some detailed finish to it. Once again, this is a clear clutch cover, or a clear cover for the ignition section on the Yamaha FJ or the XJR. Has the, so you can set ignition timing, etc. if you're get into the more performance features of the bike. There's some you know, different ignition options out there. And once again, the machining quality looks great. I don't see no chatter marks. Super clean finish. And you know, the exterior portion of it is the most important. You know, that's what everybody's going to see. I really like it. Like I said, the satin or matte finish of the powder coat is awesome. And then once again, it has the acrylic, or the I don't know which type of material it is. I'm going to assume it's an acrylic panel. Being this is in the ignition section of it, I don't believe it's associated with the actual engine oil and stuff, so it looks like that the clear clutch, or the clear cover, is actually glued into place. I don't know how I feel about that yet, but I'm assuming at this point, I don't know how many of these jacks it has sold, so I can't really, you know, speculate on how it holds up. But it is glued. So for those of you, I don't know if that's a deal breaker for some of you. Me, I'm kind of on the fence with it. I think that it would be okay. But anyways, this is the alternator cover, and like I said, the fit and finish. The fit, I don't know yet. We'll try that on, so I'll most likely touch base back and add a part 2 of this video with it installed. So if you're watching this and no telling what the date is, and you want to see the fit and finish, I'll probably have a link in that video for these items. So I'm going to stop the video and we'll go over and I'll show you where these parts are how they're gonna fit up on the actual FJ, and I'll show you what my XV920R looks like with the clear clutch cover. So anyways, here we are, and we'll be back. Okay, we're here at the side of the bike. I said, bear no mind, this bike is being rebuilt, and it's a custom bike at this point, so everything is pretty rough shape. You know, you get these bikes fairly cheap. They just look terrible, but when they're done, they'll look beautiful again. So you can see this is the stock cover, and it's just kind of plain. It's huge. If you're not familiar with the FJs, I mean, this is my hand spread out, and I still don't almost cover the whole cover. I mean, it's a huge cover. So it will be a nice feature adding this onto the side, so we can get a better view, see what that looks like. It looks really nice. I think it's going to look really good on there. And this is the right side cover, and as you can see, this bike's got a little road rash on here, so somebody's you know, doinked it in a previous life. And this would be where that cover goes, just like that. So, and then you can see the orientation of the symbol, so that will look really nice on there, giving it a little bit of a pop with that blue color, because there won't be any blue on this bike when it's done. So it's just some minuscule item that's going to get, you know, make a little pop, make it have a little difference to it. So let me put these down and I'll come back on, we'll be on the other side. All right, back on this side, I got the ignition timing cover, and as you can see on here, it's just kind of plain. It has some rubber grommets on there,
I didn't think to order those from Jack, so I may have to find the OEM ones. And if you'll notice on the cover, they got really big holes. So I'm assuming that this is almost floating, being that those are grommets on there. You know, it's a fairly big case. I can't tell if this is two-part. I haven't pulled it off yet. But as you can see, if there's any kind of items in here that I can remove and have the ability to be powder coated, I'll most likely do that. So it will add a really nice feature in there. But as you can see, that would go on there like so, and it would look really, really nice. And then here's the alternator for the XJ. I'm assuming it's the bolt pattern or something's different. I know they have the same exact type of system, but I'm assuming that the Nippon Denso alternator is a little bit different. So anyways, I'll stop, put this down, and I'll show you what it looks like on the XV, and we'll wrap this video up. All right, here we are at the XV. I started this bike because I have it parked on the other side. I started it up this morning and it's like 28 degrees outside. So the engine was cold. I had to let it warm up for a little bit. So if you're not familiar with what clutch covers do, these clear ones, is when the engine heats up or the metal starts to heat up, it will create condensation. And then as the engine is run warm and everything, you know, the condensation evaporates out. So if you look in here, there's actually condensation inside of the engine. And that was simply from me starting it up to move it over here to make it in the presentation of this video. But as you can see on here, on the clutch plate, I powder coated that a anodized red. It looks awesome. So if you're want to see, I have some pictures, a thumbnail video of my XV920R that I built, and I actually got a little bit closer up photo of it so you could actually check it out a little bit. This particular cover came from trying to think of the name of them now. Anyways, I can't think of it. If I do, I'll put it in the description and the link for it. And if I don't, you know, you're curious, then send me a message and I'll try to find that information out. But anyways, I had to take this whole cover off when it was stock. I mailed the cover to him. He cut the opening in the cover, and then I had him weld it internally, because on some of his others, it has from his gallery and stuff, they welded on the outside, and I didn't want that kind of look. I wanted a cleaner look. Yeah, even though I do have a slight gap in there, but it's welded internally. I think it would look much cleaner, so I left it at that. Only thing I wish is that they didn't use so many darn screws. I mean, every one of those are actual functional screws. It has the plexiglass plate in there, and there's a seal behind it, and that's what seals it. So when you're screaming along or you super rev it up, you can actually oil splash onto this and then run off. So the condensation can make your screen milky. It can have condensation like that, but it all goes away once the engine's up at running temperature and you've been riding on it. It'll be nice and clear and there's no issue. So don't freak out if you get one of these, you put it on there and you notice it gets milky. So anyways, we're done with this.